How do?
Hello, good morning.
Welcome yet again to another little episode of our investigation into what you need to be checking before you're riding.
That lovely articulate title there.
Yeah. Next, we're going to be looking at wheels and tyres.
Wheels and tyres.
So the sort of things you're going to need to know and check before you head out on the road.
Yeah, as usual, we've got the Suzuki Address 110 and the Honda CG125 that we've been playing with on the last few videos. Both these bikes have wheels and tyres, so these will be perfect to get you started. So let's crack on and have a look. We're going to start this video with a recommendation, and that is to make sure that you've got good tyres on your bike. Now, a set of good tyres is going to keep you safer while you're riding, and it will also increase your enjoyment of doing so. A set of bad tyres, on the other hand, will ruin your enjoyment of riding, and you may well end up falling off. So the first thing to do is see what you've got, do a little bit of research, find out if people are happier with them, and if they're not, then really we would strongly recommend that you save up a bit of money and get some good tyres.
Once you're happy that you've got some good tyres on the bike, the next consideration is the age. And to do that, we use the dot system. So let's have a look on the wheel, see if we can find it and figure it out. In amongst the various numbers and symbols on the tyre, we need to find the letters DOT. We follow that along to the important date numbers at the end, typically in a circle. In this case, 1418. But what do those numbers mean? So in this case, 1418 means the 14th week of 2018. Now, when tyres start to get to 5 years and above, the rubber starts to harden and you lose that grip. So it's time to be looking for replacements.
So now we know we've got good tyres and that they're a good age, we need to measure the tread depth, and for that we need a tread depth gauge, which looks something like that. And this is really simple to use. It's just a little protruding piece, and you push it into the tread and read off the depth on the gauge here. So let's have a look at that now. All we need to do then is press that into the tread, slide it down until it stops, and read the figure off the gauge. And I'm going to do that at various points around the tyre. So the legal minimum tread depth for motorbikes in the UK is only 1mm of depth. But that's not 1mm just in one place. You need to measure at various points around your tyre, and you need to include areas towards the edge, and in fact it's the central 75% of your tyre. In my case, I've got 3mm of tread in all those areas, so for a while at least I'm fine. Okay, well, the great British summertime has struck again, and we've just retreated to the garage to escape the rain, but we are going to discuss damage to your tyres.
So a good opportunity to do this is when you're doing your tread depth. So as you're spinning your tyre, you're keeping an eyeball out for any random bulges, cheeky nails or dodgy cuts that you might find.
Yeah, if you do have anything in your tyre like a nail, obviously that definitely needs dealing with, but bulges are often overlooked. Just run your hand around the outside of the tyre as you're spinning it and you will feel a bulge sometimes, and what will happen there is at some point while you're riding your tyre will probably explode, which is not a good idea. So if you do have any bulges, any tears, any cuts or anything like a nail in, please either sort that out or replace your tyre, because it is just not worth risking.
Danger! So the rain has eased, we've got a little bit of wind, that's probably them beams. But the next piece of this puzzle is we're going to look at the wheels themselves, because they can also be subject to damage.
Yeah, there's a couple of different types of wheels. We've got cast alloy wheels like we'll see on the Suzuki Address 110, and then we've got spoked wheels like you'll see on the Honda CG125, and both types of wheel can suffer different types of damage, so we're going to go and have a look at that now. So with a cast alloy wheel like the Suzuki Address has, there's not much to go wrong, but it may be that if you hit a pothole or a curb or something like that, you could have cracked the alloy wheel. It's not always easy to see, so have a good look around and see what you can find. If you do find any cracks, there's not really anything you can do about it with an alloy wheel. You're probably just going to have to replace it.
Moving on to the spoked rims. Now the main thing to check here is going to be the rim itself. Now if it's obviously dented or warped, then it's game over and that's going to have to get replaced. If that's all good, then we move on to the spokes. So we check each by hand, and if there's anything loose, that'll need tightening up, and any broken ones will need to be replaced.
One last thing to check then is your tyre pressures. Now, we mentioned this in the very first video, but it's worth mentioning again. Before you go out riding anywhere, please do make sure that the pressures are where they should be. You can find the figures for your tyres either somewhere written on the bike or in the manual.
So there are a few different styles of tyre gauge. They all do pretty much the same job. But whichever one you choose, make sure it's a good quality one so you can rely on the readings being accurate.
Well, there we are. That concludes our little look at wheels and tyres. We are aware that we've not covered punctures, and that's because in a future time there will be a separate video about punctures along with videos for a whole lot more.
And if you've got any other tips or suggestions for how to keep safe on the roads, then do get in touch, leave a comment below. But until then, we'll see you on the next one.
Ta-ra!